Um, Another great question we always like to talk about. I have my phone here, so this is where the questions are coming in. How do you reduce understeer on a Mark 7R? Well, that's a great question, and something that we've been able to very successfully improve on these cars. These cars from the factory all understeer, as most cars do. Um, as you may already know, understeering is safer. And so if you're going into a corner with too much speed and the car loses control, it's always safer to see where you're going before you crash. And so, and certainly hitting, if you're going to hit something, you might as well hit it from the front end. You have the most protection that way. So basically all cars from the factory are designed to understeer, which means the car continues to turn despite the steering. So you put more steering in, but the car just goes straight.
Yeah,
so
you only get so much of a amount of turn basically, and then you're just going to start plowing in one direction.
So instead of the car going around the corner like this, because your steering wheel is turned like this, the car goes into the corner and just goes off the corner this way. And so regardless of how much steering you have, the car just continues to go straight. So your steering is under what it should be, understeer. And that is a safer way to crash or lose control, and it's certainly easier to regain control of a car
as long as you've got enough room after whatever you're now heading towards.
As long as you have some shoulder or runoff or a grassy field or whatever it is, going off a corner backwards is very dangerous. So, and typically, once your car's backwards or sideways, you basically just put your foot on the brake, take your foot off the gas, or put your foot on the clutch, as they say, both feet in.
2 feet in.
And you just kind of pray or hope for the best. So this is kind of a cliche answer, but to reduce understeer on any MQB car, you buy all the 034 Motorsport Dynamic Plus products, and you set a high performance alignment. And so with the additional performance and the additional alignment adjustments that you get with our parts, our cars do not drive like front wheel drive cars.
No.
On the street or on the track. Our in-house RS3, our in-house GTI, our TTRS. These cars, you go into the corner and the back end steers with the car, and it's an incredible sensation. But no longer are you fighting the understeer and the push in the corners, and the car actually behaves much more like a better balanced rear-wheel drive car. The alignment's a huge part of that. You really can't achieve that type of alignment on a stock car.
Well, it's both. You can't achieve that with the stock components either in a good alignment. You can put the same alignment on with all the stock bars, and you're not going to get the same.
Well, yeah, that's true. Even if you could, but you can't.
Yeah.
So you really need the additional adjustability. And then what we do with the sway bars, we play with the weight transfer of the car. And so that's a large reason why cars push or oversteer, is how the weight transfers from the front or the back of the car as it goes into the corner. And so if the weight is in the front of the car when you go into the corner, then that's the moment of the car that's going to go that direction.
Yeah, basically, if you're out, if you've ever tracked your car or seen video of your car under heavy cornering, if it's stock, you'll see basically the whole thing's pitching over on that, whatever front tire, outside tire, and it's just working that one tire as much as it can, and then until it gives up, and that's your primary, give or go traction point.
So by changing the stiffness of the sway bars, by changing the stiffness of the springs, by lowering the center of gravity of the car, then we can adjust that weight transfer into the corner. And then with the additional alignments, what happens is on a stock alignment, you go into a corner like that and your tires go like this. Well, now your contact patch is off the road, and it's riding on the very outside edge of the tire, which ultimately folds over and you're on the sidewall now. And once that happens, the car, you lose all your traction. And the front tires lose all their grip, and the car goes with the front tires.
Those are both empty.
Exactly. Yeah. So since we're talking about it, this is our rear upper control arm for the MQB, which not only reduces the deflection or the movement of the bushings, but it allows adjustments. So because this outer link is adjustable, you can now change the
the
camber,
Yep.
and
yeah, we've got toe links to go with it as
we have
well,
toe
so
links,
you can
so
really
change the
really
toe.
position that
Yeah.
rear axle where you want it.
So these are some of the many parts that we offer for this chassis. But driving a properly set up MQB car is a blast, and I don't think a lot of people have experienced it. So
No.
that's something that we specialize in. Unfortunately, we can't show you a dyno sheet. We can't show you
Yeah,
a
that's a
100 mile
tough one.
drag time.
That's more one of the ones you got to come to the track with us
Yeah,
and go
but
for
if
some
you
rides.
if you come to the track and take a ride with us, or you have a friend who's done it, honestly, for us, a well set up, well handling car is the funnest thing you can do in a Volkswagen or Audi. More fun than drag racing.
Yeah,
or anything like
they
that.
can be these new Mk7s can
Yeah.
be really surprising on track.
But anyone can throw a draggy in their car and go to a road and run fast times. But to make your car turn and handle and keep the contact patch on the road as you're going through the corners, that's harder to do, and that's really what we specialize in.
There's
So
a follow-up question on that. Many folks say you should only run a rear sway bar on a GTI, but what are your thoughts on a front sway bar?
well, we do offer a front sway bar for a reason. So as we always talk about, we only bring products to the market, and we only try to convince you guys to buy them if there's a reason. And so on some of the Audi, the bigger chassis Audis like the B5, the B6, B7, B8, even the B9, we offer rear sway bar options only, because that really helps keep the weight in the back of the car as you transfer, the weight transfers into the corner, and makes the cars much more lively in the back as you go through the corner. The issue on a front wheel drive MQB specifically, but really the RS3 TCRS is no different. These are front wheel drive cars, and so if you have if you have a stock sway bar going into the corner, it allows the front suspension to lean a lot. And what happens, you lift the inside tire off the ground, and it doesn't keep the car flat. So you lose traction, and the more the car leans, the more that important outside contact patch comes off the ground. So in a front wheel drive car, you want to keep both front tires on the ground and both contact patches square on the ground. And so one of the ways you do that is certainly through camber, but a great way to do that is increase the front sway bar stiffness so that the car doesn't lean as much and the car is flatter in the front. So the MQB specifically, if you just run the rear bar, it will be more lively under trailing. So when you lift off the throttle, but if you're trying to power through the corner and accelerate through the corner, which is the fastest way to do it, then you need to upgrade the front sway bar too. So that's why we, in the MQB application specifically, we offer front and rear bars, because you actually need it. You actually want it. In other applications like the B8, we do not, because it doesn't really help that much.
Yeah.